Hi, fourth graders. It's Mrs. G. Today we are going to work through Module 3, Session 2, and the focus and goal is going to be using the standard algorithm for multi-digit multiplication problems. So in doing that, I want to revisit partial products and the area model just to connect what we do there to the standard algorithm. So as you can see our agenda, we are going to do a practice and an introduction to the standard algorithm. We aren't going to do a roll your own multiplication just because I don't know who has dice at home, but I'm going to show you how you could practice those pages at home without, almost making them optional. And then that's about it. And then you have a couple SB pages. So let's get started. Today's goal. Hey, and out of all the times you guys to have a growth mindset, you're going to have to practice this. If you aren't familiar with the standard algorithm, you may fail a couple times at it, but you're going to get closer and closer, and don't give up because it can be a handy dandy strategy. So a couple of vocab words we're looking at: array, area, model, dimension. Dimension is the measurement of a side. Partial products, that's where you break up the number and get a product from that and then add them together. Product is the answer to a multiplication problem. Standard algorithm. Standard algorithm is represented right to the right here. Oh, I didn't practice how to write. Let me just get this back. I should have practiced this because I always have trouble. Let's just see. Oh yeah, look. So this is the standard algorithm. Actually, they used partial products here. Here's an area model. Here's partial products. So we'll be doing all those. So partial product, I teach partial products and area model together because in the area model, you actually are figuring out parts of the multiplication problem. So let's look at 8 times 28. And what I'm going to do, and what we've done in the past, is we're going to break up that 28 to make it a little easier. So these I'm going to do somewhat together using an area model. But here's the 8, and you know how I am with my handwriting. I'm going to try so hard, team. But so the first, since I'm breaking up the 28, I think a 20 would be friendly to use, 8 times 20. And then I'm going to place the other 8 here. So if you look right here, this is the 28 I'm talking about. Here's the 8. And then here is the 28 on top. I just broke it up. So I'm going to find the part products here. So 8 times 20 in this first area model, 8 times 20. Well, 8 times 2 is 16, and the 0 represents tens, so it's 16 tens. But also, we can say that that's 16 tens is written like this. It's also known as 160. And then 8 times 8, I don't know offhand that that's 64. There are different things that can go on in your head to solve it. You could do 8 times 4, 32, and then double it. 32 plus 32 is 64. That's sometimes a quick way to get to the product. And then what we do is, since we broke up this 28, all we have to do to figure out the answer to 8 times 28 is add up what's in the inside here. So 160 plus 64, and you can get to that however you want. I'm going to take the 160. This is what I'm doing in my head. Add 40 to it because I know that puts me at 200. And then I have 24 left from like 24 as part of this. 24 more would get me the 64. So I know my answer is 224. Let me double check. Because 40 plus 24 is 64. And then I just had to add that to the 160. I used the 40 just to get to that friendly 200. And I knew I needed 24 more because it was actually adding it to 64. So the answer is 224. That's using the area model, partial products method. So let's practice that a little bit more. And you guys can try these. So start with 6 times 26. And remember, you can pause the video. If you're trying this on a marker board, sheet of paper, wherever you're trying it, I want you to take a minute and use the area model or partial products where you kind of list it to solve 6 times 26. And then when you're ready, come back and I will do it as well. Remember, yours may look different. You may break up the 26 differently than me, or even the 6. Maybe some of you want to do a 5 and a 1. So as long as in the end we get the same product or the same answer. So go ahead, pause it and give it a shot. All right, welcome back. We are doing 6 times 26. If I were doing this problem, and remember, I'm not you, so you might do it differently. But watch how I'm going to do it and compare it to the way you did. I am going to break up. I'm going to keep the 6. It's friendly enough. And then I'm going to break up the 26. I'm going to do the 20 and 6. Just because I can get those products quickly. 6 times 2 is 12, and then the 0 represents 10, so it's 12 tens, also known as 120. 6 times 6 is 36. You can get to that however you want. And then when I add these up, I get 156. So the answer to this problem is 156. You can break it up however you want. That was just one way to do it. Rewatch it if you don't understand it. And let's head you guys to 36 times 4. Now try 36 times 4. I'm actually gonna clear the page. No, I don't want to do that. I just want to clear the ink. Clear ink from page. Whoops. Okay, now 36 times 4. Hopefully you paused it. Here we go. 36 times 4. I'd almost do 36 times 2 for this one. I do 36 times, talk about partial products. 36 times 2 is 72. And then I just double it because we know it's double that. 4 is double the 2. So 72 plus another 72. The answer to that one is 144. So if you were doing that with the area model, you could do 36 times 2 and then 36 times 2 again. Add those together, you get 144. Let's go to 48 times 5. Go ahead, pause and try to solve. So 48 times 5, I break up the first fact in this, which is 48. I do 40 and 8. So I'm going to go like this, 40 and 8. That represents 48, and then put the 5 up here. So I have this, and then this. I know it's so sloppy. And then 5 times the 40 is 200, and then 5 times 8 is 40. The answer, the product of 48 times 5 is 240. You could have done it differently, but see if you got the product 240. That's the ultimate goal. All right, let's move to 144 times 6. Go ahead, pause and solve. Okay, welcome back. 144 times 6. How do I want to solve this? We could do, I'm going to turn it. So here's the 6. I represented that. Now I'm going to break up the 144. Let's do it like this. What do you think? And it'll be interesting to see if I match what you did. Let's do the 100 there. then the 40. See, so now I have, of the 144, I have 140. So I need 4 more. So the top numbers, if you added them together, you would get 144. So now let's get the products from each. 6 times 100 is 600, 600. 6 times 40 is 24 tens, also known as 240. And then 6 times 4, even if you did 6 times 2, got 12 and doubled it, the answer is 24. When you add all these partial products together, you get 840. 840 plus this last 24, 840. 840 plus 20 is 860 plus 4 more, 864. 864. And that's just a real quick review of area model and partial products. Now let's move to the standard algorithm. Okay, so now let's look at it 8 times 28. That was one of our problems back here. Oh no, we didn't do that. Why did I think we did that? Right up here. So this is how we started the whole lesson. 8 times 28 is 224. Remember, we broke up the 20, the 8. So now let's do it as a standard algorithm. So how do you do that? I always write the larger number up top. Makes it easier to do the steps. Times 8. I'm going to really try to, I'm going to move down here. Give me some space. 28. Okay, so how we do the standard algorithm is you start with the number down here and you multiply it with the number right above it in the ones place. So 8 times 8, sort of like we did the partial products. 8 times 8 is 64, but I write it like this. The 64, I write the 4 ones here, and the 60 I'm going to carry over to the tens by doing this. So the number 64, there it is, but it's broken up. So the last number you say, you write down below, and then the tens part goes above the next number. So now I'm going to take 8. Really, ultimately, I'm taking 8 times 20 up here, but I'm going to take it just 8 times 2. I get 16, meaning 16 tens pretty much, but 8 times 2 is 16. Add the 6 that I carried over, the 6 sets of 10. 8 times 2 is 16 plus 6 is 22. And I just write that down below. And that's a standard algorithm. It's the same thing I got over here. Look, if you're really looking. So we got 224. And look, here's the 64 in the ones. And then here, but remember we broke up the 6 and the 4. And then here's the 160, which was the 8 when we took it times the 2. It's actually quite cool. You can do it either way. We're just practicing the standard algorithm. So the standard algorithm has specific steps. I'm just trying to get you to understand what those steps mean to make it a little more powerful and purposeful. So again, the 8 times 8, that's just the ones, 64, but you write down the ones part here, the 4, and then carry that 60. So carry the 6. So it's actually a little easier because you're just looking at it. It's a little easier to think because you're looking at it like just a 6 right now. 8 times 2 is 16 and just a 6, even though it's 6 tens. So let's practice a little bit more. This is what Mrs. G was just talking about. If you can see the connection. So here are all of them right in line together. Here's the standard algorithm, where you start with the ones. 8 times 8, you just go up, write that. There's the 6 for the 64, and then you add. No, I'm sorry, you multiply the 8 times 2 and then add what's up here. So that's kind of a key thing to remember. And again, this is why it takes practice. So you multiply this and then add whatever you get here. So 8 times 2 is 16 plus the 6 would give you the 22 we see down here. So multiply, and then you got to carry the 6. Okay, here's looking at it with the area model I was telling you before. And you can go back and watch this as many times as you need. I made this connection for you, but you can, again, rewind and look at it more side by side. This roll your, let me see if we're going to do any more. So I'm going to take you through that. You guys, with this, the roll your own multiplication, if you wanted to play, is just roll the dice. Oh, I'm on pen, but roll the dice or write in some numbers in here, like a 6, an 8, and then maybe a 4, and just practice. So really it's just write in some numbers. The reason we have the dice involved is because it just mixes up what numbers you use. That's all the roll your own multiplication problems. You can just write in some numbers. But continuing, looking at this is going to be, I think it's one of your SB pages. Let me just go down and look. Yes, student book. This is one of your student book pages. So it's just practicing. And here, I want you to notice this reviews what Mrs. G said with the steps. So look, it says multiply the ones 6 times 4. So right here, you're looking 6 and then the 4, you get 24. Remember the number you say last, the 424 goes here, the 2 goes over here, and then you multiply the 6 times 3, you get 18, and then you got to add this 2. So that would give you 20, which you just write down here. And the words that I'm saying are right here. So looking down, using the standard algorithm, why don't you guys try some of these? Pause it, give them a shot, and then I'll do them. I'll do a few. All right, so welcome back. Hopefully you paused. So let's look at 23 times 4. Looking at this, partial products, 20 times 4 is 80. 3 times 4 is 12. So the answer is 92. I can do it in my head because I know partial products, but let's do it the standard algorithm because that's what it asked. So I'm going to take the 4 times 3. I get 12, carry the 1. 4 times 2 is 8 plus the 1 is 92. So I did it 2 ways just to kind of make sure I got it right. But my goal is to practice the standard algorithm. So that's what I need to do. Right, 35 times 7. So I'm going to do it with the 7 times 5 first. 35 is the answer. So remember, 35, I write the 5 down, carry the 3. It's terrible. I can't write super small, so just try to follow. And then I take 7 times 3. I get 21 plus this 3 is 24. I write that answer, and my answer is 245. Even though that looks super sloppy, that is the product. Let's go down and do 2. Well, let's do, this one's 67 times 2, just double 67, but we have to do the standard algorithm. So it's 2 times 7 is 14, carry the 1. 2 times 6 is 12 plus 1 more is 13. So I write the 13 here, and the answer is 134. Now, before I keep going, oh, look at this, you guys, you're going to have more. So anyway, I'm going to go to the next page and just make sure everybody's clear on this. Ooh, look at those challenge. Hey, the challenge though, you guys, so we've done a lot of these where it's just 2 numbers up top, but all you do is keep multiplying and carrying over. So for these, let's look at, you guys, you can even try 137 times 3, pause, and then come back. So hopefully you tried it, but watch what happens. So you start with the 1s, 3 times 7 is 21, carry the 2. Then I do the 3 times, I'm doing the 3 times 3 next. I'm just going in order. 3 times 3 is 9 plus this 2 is 11. So I write, that's the part of the 11. I carry the 1. See the 11, I just separated it. Now I do 3 times 1, the last number. 3 times 1 is 3 plus 1 more is 4. The answer is 411. So I just keep moving and I follow the order from right to left. So let's do, you guys, let's try this one. So go ahead and try this one, pause, and then welcome back. So let's take 6 times 5. Again, just starting from the right, moving over. This is the 1s. 6 times 5 is 30. Carry the 3. Oh my gosh, I can't even read it. What was that number? This is funny. Let's erase that. Okay, carry the 3. Wait, I have to come back. Okay, so I'm going to make my 3 a little up top. Oh, it's terrible. But 6 times 8 is 48, plus this 3 is 51. So I'm going to do the 1, carry the 5. 6 times 4 is 24, plus 5 more is 29. The answer is 2,910. So just practice, practice. Go back and watch my steps I did if you're going to practice. By the way, this is how most parents do multiplication because they learned almost only this way. So they're going to be able to help you. I'm also going to attach a video to the lesson just to reinforce what I'm saying. Let's do one more down here. Let me see if that's it. You guys have a lot. Okay, let's do one more down below where it's 4 digits up top. And again, you just move right to left. So let's look at this first one, this challenge. 5 times 3 is 15. Carry the 1. Carry the 1. 5 times 4 is 20, plus the 1 is 21. Carry the 2. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 more is 12. Carry the 1. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 1 more is 6. The answer is 6,215. And all I did was move. I multiplied and I moved from the ones to the tens to the hundreds to the thousands. So challenge, yes, it's just one more step. But once you get comfortable, you're going to be able to move through it. Okay. Oh, this is just standard algorithm. So it's just taking you through. Let me see if this is, oh, this is home connections. So we've learned this just to do a quick review. Remember standard algorithm is steps. So 403 plus 238, always start with the ones, move right to left. So 8 plus 3 is 11, carry the 1. Now we're adding. 3 plus 0 plus 1 more is 4. And 2 plus 4 is 6. So 641. Again, move. And this is different. So don't let them confuse you. We're not multiplying now. We're just adding. And I believe we did this in Unit 4. So just remember, start with ones, tens, and so on and so forth with adding and subtracting. And I believe that's it for today. Don't worry, this is just the beginning. We're going to practice, practice, practice. You don't have to be super upset if you don't start off amazing at it. We will practice now until the end of this unit. So just give it a shot, try it, maybe fill in some of those, roll the dice. If you don't have the dice, just try some different problems. And you can even check it. This is what I would tell my kiddos if we were in class. After you try it, you can check it with a calculator. The calculator would just tell you the answer. But since you don't have the answer key, you can see if you got it right or wrong. If you don't get it correct, go back and see if you can figure it out. All right. Keep being amazing. Miss all of you. Thank you for sticking with this. Don't give up, and we will see you soon. Bye, everyone.